G'day guys and welcome back to AdosTheGreat YouTube channel. So guys, in today's video I will be giving you my round 15 NRL power rankings, or actually round 16 NRL power rankings. Yeah, we'll go on from there. Now it might be a little bit harder to do this week because teams had buys and whatnot, but we're definitely going to give it a good crack. If I put your team lower than you expect they should be, let me know why. Give me a good argument. Don't just say you don't like my team, because the only team I don't like in the NRL or I hate is the Roosters. So if you're a Roosters fan, then yes, I do hate your team. But look, you had a good win on the weekend, so you probably move up a little bit. All right, let's jump straight in and work out who is the bottom of the barrel. I'm going to put the Bulldogs at 17th. I actually think I had them there last week as well. Look, they were disappointing against the Sharks. Yeah, not too much more to say about that. Like, I understand they didn't have Matt Burton, but like, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Yeah, disappointing stuff there from the Dogs. Next up, I'm going to go a little bit of, I'm going to put the Tigers at 16th. I think it's the right move. Now, the club I'm going to put above them is having some turmoil in house. If they played on the weekend, I'd probably put them at dead last. I don't think they played on the weekend. No, they definitely didn't. I'd put them at dead last. But the Tigers, for me, look, there was definitely signs that they can be a decent team on the weekend, but Storm just ran away with that game. They were just the classier team, the better team. The Tigers were pretty disappointing, and they really lacked depth in the halves. So I think 16th is fair for them. Next up, the club that's got a lot of turmoil going on, it's the Dragons. Um, I know they didn't play on the weekend, but like, can you really rank them higher than 15th? Personally, if you guys said to me they should be 17th, I'd find it hard to disagree. I really would. All right, next up. Okay. See, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Um, I'm gonna put the Knights at 14th. It could be a bold take there because they were actually quite competitive against the Roosters, but I don't know. I just feel like that game was there for them to win, and they just couldn't get it done with a relatively full strength side. I know Saifidi was out and Frizzell, but with the plays the Roosters had out, the Knights should have won that game, especially being at home. I think 14th is actually quite a fair ranking for the Knights. All right, next up. I thought the Cowboys were pretty good on the weekend, so they're definitely higher than 13th. Um, I'm going to put the Titans for now. Definitely a team that could make their way back up depending on how well they play against the Broncos. But for now, I think 13th is the right move. Look, they had the bye on the weekend, so I can't really drop them or raise them too high. So I think 13th, I think they were about 12th or 11th last week. So I think 13th is right because the Roosters were outstanding on the weekend. Well, they weren't outstanding, but they were better. So I think 12th is fine for the Roosters. In 11th, I'm going to put. Oh, this is tough now. See, I'm going to put Manly. I thought Manly the week before against the. Oh, no, I can't. I've got to put the Dolphins 11th. I think I've got to put the Dolphins there. Um, yeah, I'm pretty confident to put the Dolphins there at the moment. They definitely can improve, but for now, I think 11th is a fair ranking for the Finns. And look, they're a team that could go back up into 6th, or they could drop down to like 13th. Like, depending on how they go this week, I think 11th is fine. In 10th, I am going to put Manly. I'm going to put Manly in 10th. As I stated before, they had a great win over the Dolphins last week. But this weekend, they got absolutely tailed up by an Eels side without either of their halves. And I know the Seagulls didn't have Turbo, they didn't have DCE, but like the Eels were missing players as well, and the Eels absolutely tailed them up. So I think 10th is fair for Manly. Let me know if you guys do disagree, though. Cowboys are starting to play some pretty decent footy. So I think in ninth, after that Tigers loss, the Cowboys have just, I don't know, it's like that loss has just sparked some sort of momentum, and the Cowboys are rolling on. So I think ninth is a fair ranking for the Cowboys. In eighth spot, I'm going to put the Raiders in eighth. I think that's fair. They're coming off a bye this weekend. They got tailed up by the Warriors last week. I think every one of these teams has sort of been playing a little bit better than them of late. So I think eighth is a fair ranking there for the Raiders. In seventh, I'm going to put the Sharks. Now, I believe I had the Sharks in eighth last week. Look, the Sharks were phenomenal against the Bulldogs, but they can't beat top eight sides. So until they start winning some of these top eight sides, I probably won't move them back up that ladder. That's what we need to see moving forward is the Sharks at least being in the fight against these top eight sides because, yeah, they haven't won one yet this year, and it's pretty alarming, to be honest. All right, next up, we've got sixth spot. I'm going to put the Bunnies in sixth. I believe I had them there last week. I'm happy to keep them there. Depending on what we see from them after the bye against the Cowboys. The Cowboys is a real danger game. I think it's a must-win for the Rabbitohs, especially if they want to keep in touch with that top four. I think sixth spot is pretty fair for the Rabbitohs. I don't think that's a biased take. I honestly think that is a very good take there because I'm probably going to have people saying that I'm biased. I'm also probably going to have Rabbitohs fans saying they're too low. So if that's the case, I think I've hit the nail on the head with where I've ranked the Rabbitohs. All right. Next up, I'm going to have to go the Warriors. And this is no dig at Warriors fans. Look, you guys just didn't play on the weekend. It was the bye round for you, and we got to see what some of these other teams were made of without their star players. So the Warriors do move out of the top four in my rankings, but with a win this week, you'll definitely move back up. All right, next up, I am going with Parramatta. They're finally finding some form here. They looked outstanding on the weekend against Manly. Absolutely killed them without players like Mitchy Moses, Junior Barlow. They looked really good when they welcomed back those players as well as Sean Lane. They didn't have Dylan Brown either. Like, they're doing this without those players. So I think that's a huge shout for the Eels there. Storm for me move into third. Very good on the weekend against the Tigers. Will Warbrick he's just growing in confidence after every game. He was phenomenal once again on the weekend, and I think Storm in third is fine. Panthers in second for me. Look, Panthers have been playing really good footy all year, and they almost beat the Cowboys on the weekend, even with a lot of players out. But at the end of the day, that was probably a game that a lot of Panthers fans would have expected them to win, so they would have been a little bit disappointed with that result, which then means the Broncos are number one. Again, a team that had the bye, it's hard to move them up the standings, but I think that they deserve to be in number one at the moment. They're playing some really good footy, and I think they can compete with anybody else in that top eight. But guys, look, that is going to wrap it up for me in this one. Please do let me know what changes you'd make down below in the comments. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And as always, my friends, I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.